Hello, you guys. Happy Sunday. Welcome to my page. My name is Amber, and tonight we're doing the Bird Hotel. And I'm really excited about this one. We talked about this probably a couple weeks ago, and I said, we're going to totally make this. I'm going to do it. And so it took me a little tweaking to get this, but I got it. Hello, you guys. Happy Sunday. Hopefully we'll see comments. We don't always see comments. It takes literally like 20 minutes, I swear. But anyways, I see Kristen. Hello, everybody. There's Peggy. Okay, so I did not sand this because I want to be able to do that with you guys. And plus it gives us time to like chit chat and do all the things. You cannot wait to see this. Well, let me tell you, I cannot wait to see this. So I worked really hard. First of all, this is not my own design because somebody else's. I made a few changes. I always do that. I make changes and I do little modifications in hopes that it'll just, it's like I want to put my own little touches on things. So I added so my friend Shauna, she does these amazing things and she made this thing, okay? So I went in and made a couple changes. So she has a shop where you can go in and do in-person things, okay? She doesn't sell things online. She does them in person where she has this huge little area where you can go in and do all the things, okay? So you can go in person and you can make it. Kind of like it's in-person workshops, okay? I don't have that, number one. And number two, she has like an area where you could do like, she does like a wood shop area and she will use like chunky pieces of wood, okay, for some of her things. I don't have that. So I had to do a little improvising to make this work, okay? And so just trying to get the sides of this right, trying to get this part here. When you attach it, trying to make it look good. I had to modify the little trim piece to cover the edges. It's gonna be really cute. I just think it's gonna be really fun. So anyways, this is all the pieces that are gonna come with this kit. And she called it a bird hotel. You can call it a bird house, whatever you wanna call it. But y'all, it is stinking precious. Now these are not open. Maybe in the future we can modify this and make it like where it has like the inner workings of things. But right now it's decorative. It's not going to go outside. It's just a decoration. Hello, you guys. I wanted to talk about this before we got started. Just because I wanted everyone to like know in advance when they watch this on the replay, how this thing kind of goes together. So each of these, so you're going to get a front and a back. Okay, and it has a stand. You can leave it hollow. I'll show you that when we put this together. It has a stand and it has a little top on here because trying to get these pieces when you don't have a miter cut to them. So a miter is where you kind of can angle the cut. So you can turn your blade, you can angle the cut, you can cut it with an angle. Like, so in order to like overlap pieces and get that clean joint there, you can't do that with a laser. You just can't do that with a laser. It's unfortunate that we can't do that because we love to do all the magical things, but you just can't do that. So part of improvising with this is the way that I had to make all the pieces for it. You thought I was leaving no, Mastermind is next week. Not this next week, but the week after that. Yeah. So you're gonna get the two pieces to the top, okay? You're gonna get a front and a back. Hello, Miriam. A front and the back. You're gonna get the bottom. Okay, this is the bottom. It's smaller. You're gonna know it's the bottom because it's smaller. So you'll see there's one of these, it's the bottom. And then this little piece here is the top, and I'll show you how that goes. Y'all, I'm super excited. Super duper excited. These are the pieces that go on the front. Actually, they're reversed. They're gonna go like this at the top, or on the front part of it. And then the sides, these are the sides that kind of go at the bottom, okay? That's this little piece right here, okay? And then you have the little like perches or the little like ledge that goes over the openings. And that's what these are. So you have a small one like this, you have this medium size one, then you have this size, and then you have the bigger size. So it's gonna like stack like that, okay? And then you have the finial. Now she did a real finial, and I don't like, you know, you can replace this with an actual finial if you want to, but I just took an image and traced it and tried to get a finial look. And so you'll have 4 parts to this, and they go together to create, it's not like a circular thingy, but it'll create the finial, and it goes like that. So you can see that it's got the little score lines. Once we glue it together, we're gonna put that on the top, and it's gonna be super adorable. Hello everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. So that is gonna be what goes on the top, okay? All right, so I'm gonna sand all of these, and I want you guys to tell me, honestly, seriously, I have to know, do you love this? I cannot be by myself with this one, for sure I cannot, because I am in love with this. So you don't have to sand the back of this. You wanna just mainly sand the front, and you want to sand your sides, okay? And we'll talk about that, not maybe necessarily this part, but you'll see where we need to sand, because we're going to assemble this before we do anything. So we're going to paint it together, like we're gonna put this part together, but we're gonna paint each of these little thingies that go on, okay? Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. Vicky, you love it, I do too. So this is the top. You're finally off meds and now you can craft. Yes, I'm so super excited. You just got to Panama City Beach. That is amazing. I hope you have a blast. You love this, me too. So I'm just gonna quickly sand over this, and I'm gonna show you just how easy this is going to be and how cute it's going to be. Now, this kit is on the more expensive side, okay? There's a lot of materials to this. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And I want you to be able to use it like more year round. So I want you, or you could do this in like a color that's more to your like home decor style. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna do this for what I like, but then again, I want you to do for whatever you like, okay? It's completely up to you. So I just lightly sanded it, and you can see that there's little lines where we're going to paint inside of these openings. We're gonna paint this a dark color. So it creates this illusion that it is actually a bird hotel. Hello everybody. You ordered it this morning. Valerie, I was so super excited. A bunch of y'all have already ordered this. And I told you guys I was going to do it. So that way when you get yours, you will have the video to do this. Because I don't want you to feel intimidated by this one. I want you to feel excited to make this. And I want you to be proud of it. And I just really want you guys to not make this. I know some of you guys get these kits and you hold on to them, and I want you to be able to craft them. It's in your cart. I bet it is. So I love the craft kits, first of all. But I'm going to tell you, I have more of a passion for decorating. And so I love the fact that these are like home decor, and they're also a craft, you know? So that's kind of my thing. I love that it's a craft and it's home decor. So this is going to go together. Okay, it's going to go on like so. Okay, it's going to go on the outside. So because it's going on the outside, I'm going to sand this because it's going to help my glue stick a little better. I have learned that it does help it stick better if you sand, like if you have to do an edge. For whatever reason, I guess it just roughs it up a little bit. What's up, Marcia? So I'm just going to sand just a smidge on the edge. And like I said, we're going to assemble this before we paint it. We're not going to do this not assembled. we're gonna do it assembled. So Sandaroo. Now, I want you to know that you need to try your best to get it as, I don't want to say as square because it's not really square, to get everything lined up the best you can. And it's really going to help when I show you how I do this, okay? So that one is the bottom. These are the sides. I've struggled with the first one that I made with how I put it together, and I didn't wait for the glue to dry, and I kind of got ahead of myself. And so the one thing you want to do, if you skip through this video, if you're on the replay, just don't get ahead of yourself, okay? Don't get ahead of yourself. You want to let your glue dry. Trust me, you want to let the glue dry. And if I could show you the one that's at the other house, you would see why it's really important to let the glue dry. You cannot wait to see. Yeah, so I'm not in the craft room because I don't have a table in there. But you guys, those cabinets. So fun facts, story time. I got those, I follow this page. They're Beaufort, Port Royal, I think. I think they're in Port Royal, Beaufort. They have a booth in Pooler at a store. And so I follow this page. It's called The Cute Cottage. And they have, like, they used to be vendors in my store, okay, when I had my store in Rincon. They were there from the beginning, and then they went on to bigger and better things, okay? So I've always followed their page, even though I can paint my own furniture. Honest to goodness, I just don't have time, number one. I have no desire to do it. And so I'd rather support another business who does those things. So I got up yesterday morning, and I've been looking. Okay, I told you guys I was going to go to IKEA and I was going to get these cabinets, you know, the same kind of cabinets I have at the other house. And for some odd reason, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what I can find, maybe locally, and see if somebody that paints furniture around here happens to do anything that would work for what I want, okay? So I woke up Saturday, laying in the bed, drinking my coffee, scrolling on my phone, answering comments, things like that, checking my emails, trying to, you know, just, you know, because Michelle doesn't do, I was going to say she doesn't do her job on those weekends, but she was working on Saturday. She had some hours that she needed to make up. So anyways, so I was working from home, and she, of course, is, you know, doing her thing. And I was scrolling, and if you didn't know this, on Facebook, my page, that you can switch between accounts. So I have my page that is this page, and then I have my personal account, which is my legal name. And so I was on my legal name account over there just scrolling because, you know, all of my friends' profiles are on that feed and stuff like that. So I was over there and I was scrolling, and I'm not even kidding you, the Cute Cottage, her post came up, and it was like 14 hours ago. The Cute Cottage had posted about these cabinets. She had stuff, well, it wasn't just the cabinets, it was in her booth. They had, you know, just done a drop off, and everything was so magical looking. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if they put these cabinets, like if they had any cabinets. So I'm scrolling through, and like photo 7 or something like that, I see these two cabinets paired up to each other, and they were a matching pair. And I was like, are these still available? And so I sent her a comment, and so I kept scrolling, and I saw this other one, which is the one that I put in between the two matching ones. And I was like, oh my gosh, they are perfect. So, and I think to myself, I'm like, okay, so they were already finished. They're already done. I don't have to drive to Jacksonville. We don't have to put together the IKEA furniture, right? So I felt like it was a win. And then I also kind of felt like they were perfect. It was meant to be. Yes, it was meant to be. So I was super duper excited when I got there and they were still available. And I was like, I want these. I want these, like, sign me up. So that's what I did. So we got them and then we brought them home. Of course, we had to clear out. We've got, of course, the pack and play over here. So it was the dog's room. The room is right on the other side of the kitchen wall right here. So April's room is in that hall to the left. This room is in that hall to the right. So right behind the kitchen wall where the stove is that extra room that we have downstairs. And that's where we had our dog's kennel. We had like the pack and play in there. We have, I've got all of our helmets for our four-wheelers are in that closet. And there were some other little things that were in that room and it just was not being used. It wasn't even really a guest room. We never even did that. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make this into like a little like creative room. And so we cleaned it out. We swept the floors, you know, because it's dusty and all. And we brought them in. And as we were bringing them in, it just kind of was like, they're perfect. They're perfect. I got this sanding sponge on Amazon. Yeah, this one came from Amazon. So it was honest to goodness, like meant to be. And I'll go show you when we're done, like what it actually, it's hard to kind of see with the photo, but what it kind of looks like in there. I have some other stuff that does have to come out of there. And I have to get a craft table to go in there. And I really, really need it to be semi-affordable. I really need it to be semi-affordable. I made a pretty decent investment into the cabinets, but y'all, it was so worth it. It was so worth it because they're super storage friendly. Okay, so all my sanding stuff, all my little dust here, I'm just gonna wipe it up and we're gonna set it aside. I forgot my plate. You can use like a little mini vacuum if you have one. I don't have one, so I'm not going to use one. But anyways, I need to get like a craft table, but I need it to be bigger than just like a folding table. Hello, Vanessa. I need it to be bigger than a folding table because like right here where I'm sitting, my phone has to be so far away and it is what it is because I have this tripod here. Can you move the craft table? I don't really want to move that right now because when we move to the building we're going to, all that stuff's going to go to that location. That way I have a workspace there because I don't just craft at home. I do a lot of stuff at work and I need all that stuff there. So anyways, oh, my paper's rolling up because it's wet. Anyways, so we'll see. We'll have to see. But the thing that I did at the other house is I got 2 cabinet bases from Lowe's and I put like a butcher block on top. But I think that is too big. That one there is probably 6 feet and I need something a little bit smaller because I don't have as much room. The building at the other house is like 36 feet long. So I have like the room to do it super long. In this room, I don't really have that. We have, you know, an enclosure and we have like doors that need to open. We have some obstacles. So we need to make it user friendly. The shed is still over there. The shed is still over there. I'll tell you guys if you haven't been here in a while, what the deal is. Let me get this going and then we'll have chit chat time. Yeah, Mikey does have a table that you can raise and lower and that is awesome. Okay, so we're gonna glue this, okay? We're gonna glue this together and we're going to sand where we glue. Okay, just because I really want this to attach and bond, okay? So, sanding this down. It doesn't have to be all the way down to the wood. It just needs to be a little rough. Okay, so this one, And then I'm gonna do the back. Hello, you guys. So that was the back side. Let's do this one. It's gonna be so much easier to do this paint like assembled. Make sure I got both sides. Did I get, oh, I gotta get this one. Thank you for sprinkling. So you see, I'm not doing it like, I'm not going all the way down to where it's like the lighter color. I'm just scuffing it up a little bit. Can you do an L table? Possibly, I have a vision for that room and I don't know that it's gonna go the way that I want it to, but I don't know. I don't know for sure, but we'll figure it out. All right, I have a hair. I don't need that in my way. All right, so we're going to not use the bottom and we're going to attach, we're gonna need our sides and then the top sides, okay? So on this side, this is the inside part. The finished side that we sanded is gonna go facing outward. And so I'm gonna sand just a little on the back side where this is going to adhere, okay, to the board, okay? I'm trying to give this an instruction way so you guys following along on the replay can see that. Because normally we assemble last, but we're doing it first for this one. And it's okay if there's some dust. All right, so we're gonna take this. I'm gonna put down an extra piece of paper just because I wanna be super careful. All right, I just wanna be extra cautious. All right, so let me scoot this back just a little bit more. Mean faces aren't necessary. Oh, girl, we always got mean faces on here. I don't know why. It's either I'm talking too much or not enough. I have no idea. Somebody isn't, I'm not saying their comments or whatever. It is what it is. So the way that this is gonna go is you're gonna take this front piece and you're gonna lay it down flat. And you're gonna take the piece and you're gonna see what's called like flashback. That's the underside. So when the board is cut, the laser flashes back like flames, like it burns it on the underside of the machine, okay? And sometimes you get what looks like a honeycomb kind of pattern because the board sits on a honeycomb bed. And so the flashback side is gonna be the side that goes inside. So it's gonna be the part that faces like towards you, towards the inside, and then like the flashback on this one will face the inside of this, okay? So it's gonna go like that. Now it's really important, okay? Now if you mess this up, because this is where I messed up, okay? Because sometimes you just gotta be patient and let it sit. So where I messed up a little bit is making sure that this edge does not go up past this point here. Okay, so you've got the top. You want this to sit as close as possible. And if you need help to do that, you can always put you a piece here just to make sure that it sets flush, okay? Because we need to set our top, that top piece, that plate that sits on top to cover that opening that's gonna be here. We need that to sit flat, okay? You don't want it sitting wonky. So you really wanna make sure that it sits on there right. So I'm gonna take this, my super glue, and I like to get it all going at the bottom. So we're gonna take the super glue and we're gonna go on the inside along the inside of this. Now, previously I had put all the glue onto here, okay? And then I set it down and then it seeped out and it just kind of got everywhere. So we're gonna try this time to just run us a bead of glue along the very edge of this on the inside part, okay? So, inside, and you can just kind of dab it. And you wanna do enough that it's going to stick. Okay, I'm just going all the way down. And this is the gel super glue, so it's not runny. All right, so now I have my glue, if you guys can see that, all the way, and I just kind of dot, dot, dot. Now I'm gonna take that, and it's going to stand up, and we're gonna wait the time needed for this to dry. Okay, so we're gonna put this on, and then we're gonna slide it forward. Now what I like to do sometimes is I just like to rub the glue to get it to kind of bond, and then make sure you take a flat edge and you get this to where, see, this is where it's already wanting to stick. All right, so we're gonna make this hold just like so, and we're gonna just wait. Now, you can use clamps if you want to. It's really thin, it's really awkward, so I just found that it was best to kind of let it set and dry. And then you also want it to be square, so I just like to take something flat up against it and make sure that it stays not buckled outward or inward too much. And then we just kind of wait a few minutes for this to dry. And I just kind of go along the whole thing. And we just wait, okay? It doesn't take that long. And it'll bond. We just have to be a little patient. Okay. You could take a square, like a square tool, and do this. Finally discovered that a few days ago. I don't know what you discovered. Okay, so I think this is, you'll kind of see, and we can sand off our paper. You can kind of see that this is how it's attaching onto here. Now our trim is going to cover, I just put my finger in that. Our trim is going to cover where this piece, it comes up to this. This is going to go on here, and it's going to cover that. So you won't really know. You'll kind of know down here because it doesn't quite go all the way down. But this main rung of the roof will be covered, okay? So now we're going to spin this. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, okay? So again, same thing. We're going to take it to where the flashback side, it's the flashback side, and it's going to go on like so. So you see it's creating that pitch, and then we're going to put the back on. The back is going to be real interesting, okay? I probably could have designed this differently with the sides, but I wanted them on the edge just because I felt like I wanted this overlap to be more of like a pitch than inside, because it would be hidden and everything will be like compartmentalized. And so I really wanted this to be like an overhang, and I'll show you what I mean. If we were to put this inside, on the inside here, this would not show like it does with this pitch. It would have been hidden. You see? And so I wanted to be able to have this have a little bit of an extension to come off, and then we're gonna put our piece in here. It's gonna go inside. So you see how it's creating that side dimension? So this is why I did not put it on the inside. So there's a little bit of a challenge to getting the back on, but we got this, we got this. There's a work time with the super glue, so you have time to work with it. All right, so we're gonna do this side here. So dot, 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 all the way down, dot, 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 all the way across. And if you have a little too much glue, it'll be okay. It just means it takes a little bit longer to bond. But it'll be fantastic. All right, so got this. Hello, everybody. So again, you wanna make sure that your end is flat. So I'm gonna take this and put it on, and then I'm just gonna go rub it like that just a little bit, get a little bit of a bite. I'm gonna take my flat piece and make sure that it is flat. So when I put my top on, it's gonna sit completely flat. All right, now we wait. Now we gotta hold it to dry. And then we need our little tool to make sure it's square. just while we hold it to dry. And we're just gonna wait. It only takes maybe like 45 seconds or so. You saw the cabinet unit. Yes, they're super cute. They're super cute. All right. So again, it's already kind of holding. We don't want to move too soon because that's where you get that bowing, that flexing. And so just have a little patience. Like this is completely adhered. This one's still a little wonky. Like it's still flexible. So just hold it tight. Make sure it's dry. You can see it's a little wet still. Hello, Liz. How's it going? I have my sweet tea, my super extra sweet tea. Okay. Now it's stuck to my paper, which is okay. And now I'll show you. So this is our sides to our birdhouse. And like I said, this is that top that goes up there. So if you get this pitch off, your top could sit kind of wonky and you want it to sit as flat as possible on the top there. Now I can see where it's just a smidge off and it's okay. I can sand that down before we add this so we can level it out a little bit. All right, now we're gonna do our sides. These are what goes down here. So you're gonna know which way is which because it's gonna be too tall if you try to put it the wrong way. So again, same thing. We're gonna add our glue to the edge where the flashback is. Okay, you just need to do the side. And then you're gonna level it up with the bottom. Just like so. Just give it a second to stick. And it's gonna be really cute. Let me check. There we go. Check your square. Hello, Angela. How's it going, you guys? Happy Sunday. Yeah, we're not in the craft room yet. Maybe in a couple weeks we'll be in there. Okay. Just make sure, because that matters when we put this back inside. All right, we're gonna do this side now. So do you see how now we've got that on that front? See how it's coming together? And it's gonna be really stinking cute. And we're gonna put our top on. I mean, we could have left the back off. You don't have to do it, but I think this is gonna be really cute. And I really wanted to paint this together because I feel like that's gonna make it look the cutest for me. You don't have to do that. You could do all the pieces separately. It's whatever you want to do with yours. All right, this is the piece that's gonna go on this side, right over here. And we're gonna make sure that we get that square. Need something, I'm gonna use this one. I'm running out of pieces to use. And then just make sure that it's not hanging off down here at the bottom, because you want to set, it's going to sit on a stand. I'm going to let this dry before we go trying to set the inside in. Okay, this is where it gets real interesting. This is where you really want to sand this down and make sure that this is sanded really good, because you want this to bond pretty quickly. And you're gonna be able to use, you're not gonna put the top on, you're gonna use your finger in this opening to help keep it attached, okay? And I'll show you that. Just making sure that this is good and sanded. I found if you sand these edges, it does attach better. I think I already said that. Okay. I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit to dry. So to make sure. How was my day? It was a lazy day. So I sat on the couch with my husband and we watched Grey's Anatomy literally the entire day. He made breakfast this morning. We just had a chill day. We were out most of the day yesterday. So today was, I'm really trying to like do a better job of like, you have to have decompress days. And if that means decompress for you means you don't leave, like you just lounge on the couch all day, do you. And so that's what I felt like doing. And so that's what I did. Literally the whole day. The whole day. All right, so this is what the inside looks like. And you can see it's pretty square. There might be little imperfections with this, but now we want to put the back on. And just like with the front, okay, just like with the front, the back is going to set inside. Now, you can have room for error here because for the back side here, it can set inward if you want it to. It can set inside like that and set lower. It doesn't have to be as flush as the front. The front part is what really matters the most. So we want to try to get this on the back to float as high up as we can because look, we've already got our side. We just want to make it look good from the side if you were to see the back of this, okay? So we're going to try, put our glue on all sides and we're going to position it. It's going to be real fun, but we got this. You only got to do it once, okay? So use enough glue to go all along your edge on both sides. And you might have some areas, because this is obviously imperfect, where it doesn't quite line up exactly the way you want it to. I do recommend that you use a gel glue and not a liquid glue. All right, get the bottom. And then the sides. You can use extra if you want to. You could also use E6000. But it does take time to set, so just keep that in mind. Now, this is gonna be real messy. So I did it on the edge. I don't wanna touch the edge of this. I can wipe it back with a wipe after we kind of get it stuck, but it's gonna wanna move, so we need to be really cautious about that, okay? So I'm gonna stick this kind of in here and get it where I think it needs to go. And slide it in and try to hold it level, okay? Now I'm going to position this side over here and kind of get it to float, and then I'm gonna push this forward. Well, I'm gonna try to push it forward and get it to stick on the sides. Tap it in. You just don't want this to stick at the bottom too quick. And if it pops off like that, it's okay. We can put that back on. Watch your super glue. Okay. Now that's pretty good. Let me add this back before it dries. Just be careful. All right. Okay. All right, it's floating pretty good. Now I have a little excess glue that I'm gonna wipe back. Okay, I did get some on my fingers, it's okay. So now I'm gonna take my wipe, and I'm just gonna gently wipe back the extra super glue. So I really don't, and then I'm not gonna be able to touch this till it completely dries. Now, is it perfect? No, but it's okay. All right, now let's dry. I have to sand this little spot right here. So now our back is on. Now, when you attach this, you know, this is I know this is live, but people will buy this kit and they'll watch this on the replay. And so I want to explain, like, when you do this, or if you decide that you want to get this, just to kind of help you know that it wasn't that hard. It didn't take a whole lot of finagling. It was just making sure that each step is dry. Something pops off, you just can put it right back on. It'll be okay. But it was really important that the sides are firm and dry, and they don't have, like, they're not gonna move, because you really want to keep everything together. That way this, like, when you get that glue in there, it instantly starts to stick on these edges. Okay. We got this. Good evening, Irene. How's it going? Okay. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna paint this assembled. What grit do you feel is best in preparing the kit? I use 80 grit. That's my preference, is 80. Some people prefer 120. I really like the 80. Sometimes I do 50 grit. I really like the rougher grit, because for me, even when I paint a paint finish on something, I feel like I get a distressed look of wood, like a scratchy kind of wood look. So I can kind of see right here, when I put this on the top, that it's gonna be just a smidge off, just a little bit. There's a little bit of a lean. That's okay. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. So this is how you can see, like, there's an opening at the top. This is the opening at the bottom. This is the front, the sides, the top, the back. And now you can actually paint this, and it just, once you paint it and you do all the things, it's gonna look really awesome. And then we have our bottom that this sits on. Okay, so, and it's not supposed to be like a perfect bottom. It's just enough to where it kind of creates a base for it. It's not to be like a long overextended, but I didn't want to do it to where it's set inside. I just kind of wanted it to sit on the, and have a little bit of a lip. Just something really fun. So we'll attach this in just a little bit. And then this is our top. We'll attach that later as well. And then our sides are going to cover this dark edge. Right here, we're going to sand this, and we're going to make it blend. But these are your trim pieces that will go on the edge here. So this is how it will look. And it covers that right there. Probably could have done another, but I just didn't do the side like that. So there's two little ruffly pieces that are gonna go and cover the front like that. It is so adorable, so adorable. And you see, like, this is taller, so it's about 18 inches, maybe 17. It's probably about 17 inches. And then you add the little top on it. It's super duper cute. It's lovely, okay? Love it. All right, so now the next part. So we can put our glue away. The next part for me is the staining, and most of you guys absolutely despise the staining part. I love the staining part. For me, I love it. This is cute. Well, thank you. Thank you. I thought it was really fun. And I got a little bit of glue right there so we can sand that. you see glue, just sand it down. Can you do a usable birdhouse so it can be outside? I don't have the materials to do that, to go outside. So at this time, probably not. This is not, like, this could go like on a covered porch. Like if you, like I have a craft kit on a wreath out on my covered porch. But I wouldn't put this outside. Not this material. For me, I wouldn't do it. And I don't have the machinery or the means at this moment to like have a wood shop area where I could do that. I just don't, unfortunately. Yeah. So we're gonna make the stain, which is going to be this here raw umber. We did find a building. Yeah, it's just, we have to wait. Like, you know, that move-in date, you just have to wait. So there's people currently in that building. We're just waiting. The waiting game. Little dried. 1, 2. Let's do 3, just do a little bit darker. And I have my water too. Probably should just pour it in. Do I do coaching classes? I used to. I've had a lot of people ask me to do business coaching again. Honestly, I don't have time at this moment to do it. I don't have time at this moment. I used to do it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm just not a people pleaser. I'm also a truth teller, and so that doesn't sit well for a lot of people who are too sensitive. I don't want to say that offensively. Like, please don't think that I mean that in an offensive way. But there's some people that I work with that were just entirely too sensitive. And sometimes, like, I don't want to say I'm not compassionate, because I am. But I'm like, when you're writing a check for like $16,000, you can't be sensitive. You need someone to tell you the truth. You need somebody to, like, you got to toughen up. You got to get stuff straight. I just had to place an order for like $9,000. I mean, machines we have are like almost $15,000. Like, we're making money moves. I can't worry if you're upset because I told you haven't posted on Facebook, you know? And so I had to like check myself for a minute. And I had to realize that I just was like, I get it. There's people at all levels, and there's people who don't know that they need to get it yet. And I learn different, and so I teach different, and it's not for everybody. So I offended a lot of people, not gonna lie. They're offended at my teaching style, that I was too harsh, I was too straightforward, I was too blunt, I was too to the point, I was, it described it as being disconnected. I don't have time for that. I just don't. I don't have time for that. I would rather tell you the truth than try to appease you to keep you happy. And that's why I'm not made for corporate America. So anyway, I just told myself, I'm like, girl, you need to get out of this. You need to get out of this. You got to get out of this. But Cindy, she's like, oh gosh, I got to get out of this. No, it's just, it's just hard. But the thing is you have to, at some point in time, you cannot make excuses for things. The best advice that I can give you completely for free is to don't make excuses. Don't make excuses. Don't overthink it. I get there's anxiety. I have anxiety myself. I have anxiety every time I show up here. Facebook has been absolutely ridiculous in giving people notifications. You just have to realize that you can't do everything. You just can't, it is what it is, but you have to put you have to make decisions based on like things that are going to create revenue. So revenue generating tasks. Now again, not every task is going to be revenue generating. There's things that you will do that create opportunities for you to be successful and to create, you know, like setting up systems, you know, creating an email sequence is not necessarily a revenue generating task, but it can funnel to that, you know, and you set it up and you do like, you know what I'm saying? And some of y'all are like, what are you talking about? Like, this is stuff that no one sees, all the things that we do. But the goal is that your business makes money. Your business makes money. And while I love serving people, I love giving things, all the things I can free away, we just can't do that and make a business decision on, you know, free. There's not like I always said this before. When your business operates on a free mindset, you're basically a volunteer service. You're a volunteer. Now, you can serve people, you can, and you should freely serve people. But your business cannot operate on, you know, my customers just want everything for free. Well, then you need to find new customers. You need to find new customers. There's going to be an even balance too. You're going to have people who will follow you and never buy from you. They still support you. They're your biggest cheerleaders. They share everything you post. They comment on all the things. Like, they love you, but that's the way that they can support you. And there's always going to be those, you know, you're going to love those people because they're the best people. Not everybody's going to be there to be able to serve at that every capacity. But I will say that you have to focus on like your business. How do you get viewers? Show up. Facebook's in control. Like I can't control that. People will watch if they want to watch, though. A lot of people will watch on the replay. Some pages have more viewers than others, and that's fine. I used to have a whole bunch of people that watched. And then most everyone that I've encountered here lately has said they don't get notified. They don't see all the things. People who had 5,000 and 6,000 people watching them at a time are down to like 1,000. Like there's a lot of stuff going on that is a challenge that can set you back and make you feel like quitting, but you just have to keep going. You just have to keep going. But some of you guys are watching, or maybe you know someone, and you're going to start something this year. You're going to start something this year. You're going to do it completely petrified, terrified, and you're going to not have all the answers. I mean, look at my sister Angela. Do you know how many conversations her and I had before she actually started her page? She still till this day does not believe that she has a business. I'm like, yes, you do. You're building the foundation of your business. If you don't start to see it that way from the very beginning, you're going to struggle to understand why these things are so important to do the very beginning. And so she's learning. And I can know it. Doesn't mean that she's going to know it. I can tell her. Doesn't mean she's going to understand why. And that's just going to be where you probably are. But you can't set yourself up in a mindset to start a business or a page. Most people are like, I just want to start a Facebook page. Yeah, that's not how it works. The IRS doesn't care if you have a Facebook page or a website or any of those things, because you're a business. You're a business. And they don't care if you have a brick and mortar store. They don't care if you're completely online. They don't care. They don't care. You know why? Because it's $1 is $1 is $1. Taxes are still due. And so the more you try to set yourself up with the excuse of, oh, it's not a business, because if it fails, you can't say it failed. Well, it wasn't really a business. It wasn't really a business. Yeah, it was. You just don't want to own it. You just don't want to accept that. That's your scapegoat. That's your safety net. If you don't call it what it is and you fail, then it really wasn't a failure. You know what that's called? Denial. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like that teaching. They don't like that teaching style. They don't like the truth. But I want people to be set up for success. You know, I want people to be successful. I want my sister to be successful. And so I have spent a lot of time, not just with her, but like a lot of people, pouring into them. But I can't make it work if you don't. I can't make your business successful. You have to do that. I can't make your dreams a reality. You have to do that. So whoever needed that motivation, that was free. That was free. You're not going to know everything. Let's just be honest. I still don't know everything. I still am trying to figure crap out. I've never bought commercial property. Never. I've never bought commercial property. I need to buy commercial property. Mostly commercial land. I need to buy commercial. I'm learning all that. The ins and outs of like commercial financing. I don't like to finance anything. Hallelujah, I have a debt-free business. But not everybody has that. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has that, and I certainly know that I don't. Coming up, I'm not going to have that perk. But we have to grow. We have to. We have to grow, and we have to invest, and we have to do it scared. And that's all right. We're all doing it scared. All right. So I feel like, even though we've got a little hiccup here in the front, I feel like it's pretty good because we're going to whitewash this anyways. All right, so this is now stained all the way around. Okay, it looks like this. Super duper cute. And now we're going to do the rest of these. You'd rather have someone be brutally honest than just pat me on the back and coddle me. Facts. Me too. Me too. I want someone to tell me the truth. I might cry. My feelings might be like I might have like a meltdown, but I would absolutely love for somebody to just tell me the truth, brutal, honest truth. We were gonna move to a temporary place, but we're not gonna go there. I don't want to go there. I mean, it would be nice to go there while we wait. I'm just trying to hold out. You guys, I'm just trying to hold out until the tenants are done, so that we can go on. And so y'all, it's going to be a challenge. It is what it is. But we got this. We can do it. All right. So this is stained, and we'll come back to this. I'm going to set these pieces aside. Let's go ahead and do our top. Y'all, I have no idea. I know we're just chatting. You know, I always say, like, not every conversation is for everybody. And I know that people are nosy. People love to be nosy. They just love to be, not that they're just like, I say that in like a nasty way. People just like to learn. I think I love to learn new things about people. Anything I can learn about somebody else, it just makes me have a different perspective, I'm here for. So when I first started, I had no clue what I was doing. Absolutely no clue. No clue. I started in my garage, didn't have any money, didn't have money to invest. I had my time, I could invest time. I had no money. Let's face it, we had 3 kids. And I was a girl on a mission for a purpose. I needed something to do. Didn't know what it was. Need something to do, not necessarily make money, but something to do. Because then I learned I could make money. I learned that people would actually buy my trash. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And I don't mean that in like I was selling people garbage, but in a way I kind of felt guilty, you know, because another man's trash is another man's treasure. type of thing. Well, I didn't really know about that saying too much, but I started painting furniture, you know, thrifted furniture, you know, marketplace stuff, things you find at like yard sales, garage sales. These are the little trim pieces. Just trying how I can make a little extra money. I had 2 kids in high school. I didn't work. I was a stay-at-home mom. And of course I wanted a purpose. Something outside of the mom title, you know, didn't have a college degree, barely graduated high school. I was teen mom, married, divorced, single mom, so I was 25. So I was super smart. Doesn't change the fact that I'm not super smart, because I believe I'm really smart. But I just did not really do much of anything with like a career because I was a mom. I was 17 and pregnant before there was ever MTV, you know, with their whole like thing about that. And so I just kind of decided that I needed something to do. And so I found pallets, free pallets, by the way, free pallets. Nothing I was paying for. And I hauled them home, tore them apart with the tools I didn't have. I had a crowbar. And a hammer. Just the memories that I have of like the early days. Like, I hope I never forget that, because I was so uneducated. Didn't know what a reciprocating saw was. Didn't know that there was a better way. Didn't know that there was a tool online that was a pallet puller aparter. You know, some other person had made one of those. So I'm just, you know, I'm like, I need this wood. I'm going to make super cute stuff and make signs, going to make things and make my husband proud and show him like, I can do this. And it was a sense of like, for my own being, that I wanted other people. I didn't need them to see it or know it. I needed to know for myself that other people saw that I wasn't just a mom. And somebody else can relate to that mindset. I wasn't just a mom. I wasn't just a stay-at-home mom. I wasn't just, you know, good at vacuuming and, you know, dinner and going to the grocery store and, you know, keeping a clean house. Like, I felt like I wanted to not only prove to other people, but myself, that I had other skills. That I needed to validate it for myself. Like, what the heck am I going to do? My kids don't need me, you know? Your kids grow up and get married and, you know. I had no idea what I was going to do. I knew for sure that I had worked in corporate America before and that I was just not, I just started to be able to identify that I did not fit in with corporate America. Like, I'm too much of a free thinker. Like, you can't, like, I'll try to fix other people's stuff, you know, and that gets to be, you know, a problem. I mean, I was a good employee, you know, let's be real. But I just had to find a way, like, what was I going to do? But I still need to be home. And so I started there. And then I've told this story before. You know, I went on my personal Facebook page where my friends were. And let's be real, no one was my friend. They were just really weird acquaintances that, you know, passerbys, school parents, past high school friends, people who lived in other states, people who were trying to be friends with everybody when Facebook first came out, because everybody had to have all the friends. No one knew anybody, but everyone was friends on Facebook, you know, that kind of thing. And so I started posting, you know, my finished project like a kindergartner. You know, when you go into the school and your parents see your drawing hanging on the bulletin board outside the classroom, and you're like, look what I did. So cute, Mom. Dad. Timmy. So I was so proud. So I posted up things. Somebody bought my stuff. How much is that? Is that for sale? Yeah, sure is. I'll sell it to you. It's trash. And that's what I'm thinking. You know, they're joking, right? And somebody paid $150 for my very first little like pallet table that I built. And I took that $150 and I invested in better tools. That I knew was wise. You need to make this go a lot faster next time, because this is going to take entirely, this is not profitable. So I had to invest in tools. I didn't get to make any money off of this. I did not get to keep a dime. Okay, I was still broke. Not getting, I wasn't going and spending it on like lavish things. Like I was reinvesting. And so I started investing in things that were gonna make pulling apart these palettes so much faster. Cause you know, it's really hard to get that palette wood look. And I would use vinegar to like age the wood a little bit more. I loved all the things. And so I was determined, I'm gonna make this a thing. So I started then, a lady had said, hey, would you build me a farmhouse table and benches out of this pallet wood? And I was like, yes, I will. I had no clue. I had to go to Anna White's website. Y'all familiar with Anna White? Anna White would post free furniture building plans on her website. And she would give you the measurements. She would give you like the little drawing and she would show you like how to do all the things. And I'm like, oh, I got to improvise because I've got pallet boards because it was free. You know, I could afford that. I couldn't afford the materials. I couldn't afford to go to Lowe's and buy lumber. I couldn't afford to go to other lumber yards. I had to use the garbage pallets. And so I had to figure out how to build a farmhouse table. I agreed to like charge this customer for something I had never done before. When I tell you I did not have a clue what I was doing, facts are being told, okay? The truth is being told here. I had no idea. Zero clue. I didn't know. I don't even know what screws to use. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Do I need like an air compressor thingy tool? What's that little one thing that shoots out? Like, I don't know what I need, but I need to build this lady a table because I need this money. And it's not that we were like hard up for money. I wanted to earn a living that was comparable to my spouse because I had earned nothing. I felt like I was not contributing. I felt like, you know, I felt like my work was hard. Georgia in July, hard. Hot, hard, sweaty. You could die. But I was going to do it. I was determined. And so I needed to make this money. And I grew my business. This business has grown from the garage trash pallets. And I have continued to invest that same dollar all the way to today. It's never not been a business. It's just shifted. It's evolved. It's changed. It's gone through things, and that's okay. I was a furniture builder. I was a furniture painter. I was a store owner. I did business coaching. And now I do much smaller scale items, but it's still crafty. Because I messed up my shoulder and my arm and my hand and my wrist for all the years of painting. I power painted to keep up with the demand. And it tore my body up. And so, but I'm a creative. I'm a creative person. So I had to scale my business based on my own body to be something manageable for me. And so that's why I don't paint furniture anymore. That's why I don't have a store. That's why we don't do that anymore. But I think that we have to remember we don't have to have our life figured out to do the things, to chase the dreams. But my dream has always been that I want to be self-sufficient, have my own business, and invest in my future self so that I can break cycles from my family. I didn't come from money. We weren't super poor. I will tell you that as a young person, I lived in a camper in a cow pasture. Did not have money. It was very much for me as a young person, very poverty driven. We never had any money. We always lived paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes we borrowed from the next week that wasn't here, just to get by. And I never want to forget that, but I wanted to break these, cycles, these things. And I wanted to create, I want to get out of a poverty mindset, and I wanted to walk in what God's promises were for me. And that I knew that He wanted to bless me and my family in a different way, but it wasn't just going to drop in my lap like the lottery. Like I had to work for it. And so I never apologize for having a business, for charging my worth, for putting a price tag on something, because I know that that's part of what it is. And I will never like discredit my value or of another person. So don't ever do that to yourself. Don't ever let someone tell you that you're not worth more, because you are. And don't apologize. Don't make excuses. Don't lower the price because 2 people said your stuff is too expensive. You know why? Because I am proof that it is not. My friends who have businesses are proof that it's not. Dollar Trees exist right down the street from high-end stores. And that's how it's always going to be. It's just, you have to understand how they work. But, yeah, I struggled with the whole mindset thing for a long time, but you know, just being empowered to believe that, you know, we're not the lies that we tell ourselves. We are not less than. We may not know all the things. We're not where we want to be, but we're never going to get to where we're going if we constantly do nothing, you know? And that's one of the number one reasons why I feel like people fail, is because number one, they make excuses. They second guess themselves. They give up too soon. They think it's going to be easy. And they realize when they get into it, how hard it is. And some people just don't have the endurance to fight for the thing that they want, but they want it. They want it, but they don't want it because it's hard. And I told my husband, we've recently had this conversation, I don't care how hard it gets, it will always be hard. It will never be super easy. It will get easier, but then something else hard will happen. And we just will always be fighting for something. We will always be fighting for the future self, you know, and you have to be willing to endure that. So, have a good support system. Doesn't mean it's going to be happy all the time, you know, but it's hard. It's, you know, but I just feel like the reason why I stopped doing business coaching is because people don't want to hear the true story. The true story. The true story of hard. It's hard. You know, they want to see you where you're super successful. How did you do all the things? It's so amazing. Then you want to tell them the truth of how it all had to come about to happen. And then they're like, oh my God, that's hard. That was so hard. I can't, oh my gosh. That's a lot. You've got to be exhausted. I am. But you know what? It's rewarding. It's rewarding. And it does create a sense of pride. But I don't have time for people who think that there's just a magic easy button. Staples made that, I'm pretty sure. Either Office Max or Staples made that easy button, and then everybody wants the easy button in life. And let's just be honest, there isn't one. It gets easier, but there's no easy button. There's always going to be another mountain. Facts. Who sang that song? Who sang that? Miley Cyrus, right? Am I right? Pretty sure. God never promised that things would be easy. Yes, you have to work for it. I do feel like we have a lot to be proud of. I mean, I do a lot of this because it's my business, but y'all, I can't do this by myself. Your son has that easy button. I don't. Big red easy button. People want something for nothing. It's true. Yeah, I figure it was Miley Cyrus. I don't listen to her a lot, but I mean, she has some good songs. The Climb, yes. Okay, so now that we've had our little pep talk, rooting for you. I'm rooting for you guys. This is my gross looking bird hotel. Now, I want to whitewash this. I know that some of you guys are like, girl, you are boring. Listen, more advice. Let me give you some more advice, okay? I'm not going to paint this based on what you want me to do, okay? I'm going to do this based on what I want to do. Now, I love suggestions. I love people's advice. I love the ideas. Hey, what color would you paint this? Hey, what are you going to do? Like, I'm nosy. Like, I like the info. But here's what we used to experience And you're just gonna have to learn, okay? This is a little chit chat craft, okay? So when you're doing things in your business and you want them to sell, because you remember, you want your items to sell, and you don't want them to sit and collect dust, okay? So you want your turnover rate to be pretty quick, pretty fast. You want things to get moving pretty fast, because the longer it sits, it is like money in the bank, but it's not, okay? So the demand for something should move, like inventory should move fairly quickly, okay, within a reasonable amount of time. If you've made this and 4 months later it's still sitting there unsold, there's a reason why, okay? And I did not have, like, I was not very well received in my advice on selling products because I have a very different mindset. People are like, you know, it's an investment, it's your product, you should take great pride in it, you shouldn't just half, you know what it. But I just believe that you want to make things that the customers want to buy. Things that are on trend, but things that are unique, things that are gonna move so you get money back in your pocket to keep going forward, okay? The number one thing that steals our progress is, like our goal of moving forward is the fact that we hit roadblocks. You make it, it doesn't sell, and then you're like, nobody likes all my things. Well, maybe they just don't like this thing. I have some craft kits that I thought that people would absolutely like love, okay? And they just didn't go over very well, and that's okay. And so the boho ornaments that I made, I loved those boho ornaments. We made, I think we sold 12 sets of boho ornaments. Now, other things we would sell 600 of. You know, it's hit or miss. You just never know. In fact, I think we made like 20 sets of those just to get the inventory started, just to see what the reception would be. And we ended up clearancing out what did not sell. Some of you guys might have bought them. So you never know what's going to happen. So here's the thing that I learned through having my store and having my own business is trial and error. There's nothing wrong with trial and error. But the feedback does not lie, okay? If it's not selling, there's typically a reason why. It's either the price, it's the location, okay? It depends on where you live. Trends are very like regional. What's super popular in California right now may not be even remotely popular in Georgia, okay? So you have to think about your different markets. And I've had to learn that selling things throughout the United States. So the number one thing that I learned about painted furniture, as an example, is that colorful, while it's so fun, nobody is bold. Very, very few people are bold. And I do mean like they are bold. You want to paint your bedroom set fluorescent green, and you want to put it in a booth space, and you think that everybody on the planet's going to want that, you know, super awesome summery lime green bedroom set. Not everybody lives on the coast. Not everybody is that bold. Not everybody fits that decor style. I certainly would not put lime green in my house. So I'm automatically excluding a large number of people to be a buyer. So how do you play it safe? You stay as neutral as possible because people are indecisive. They're not confident. Some people are, like I'm saying, there's gonna be people who are confident. There's people who love color. They're not afraid of color. They're like, throw me like a color party. They love color. Then there's people who are like, oh, I love that, but I would never put that in my house. That's beautiful, but I would never do that. Those are more common than the people who love, like everybody loves the color, but who's gonna buy it? Who's most likely to buy it? So you have to look at your odds. Do you have a large pool of buyers or do you have a small pool of buyers? Now, some people will tell you to niche down and like find your target audience and and that's fine. You can do that if you can. If your business allows you to do that, you do that. But I want stuff to move. People cannot understand why I painted white, gray, and black. Those are the safest colors. So I tend to do things that are very safe because it also allows me to create color accents that are filler things. So if I change my mind tomorrow, I can take all the flowers or all the little pink accents out of my house, and it doesn't mean I have to change out the whole set of furniture. Change out your pillows, your curtains, little like knick-knacky things. You can add little bits of color without doing like loads of color. So for things like this that I want to be more neutral, I can add color around it. So you have to think about those things. And so I used to tell my vendors who would come into my store and bring their furniture and their home decor, like, we don't do Skittles here. I know you love Skittles, and Skittles are really great and they're so yummy and we love them, but not everybody likes Skittles. Okay, not everybody likes M&Ms. But here's what they do like. They like the things that are very safe and neutral. Safe and neutral. They love a juicy fruit. Juicy fruit, it's very bland colors. It's sweet. It's really temporary, but it's kind of long-term. You know, it's that go-to gum. Juicy fruit. It's very neutral. It's very boring, but it's so yummy. You know, everybody, it's like, oh, juicy fruit. Oh, it's safe. It's safe. Not everybody does the red dye, you know, okay? I'm just follow along here. I'm a storyteller. I give examples. I create scenarios that make sense for people because that's how I learn. And so that's how I explain things. And so while we love Skittles, we love all the colorful things, time and time and time again, we would have things that would come in that would be super colorful and they could not understand why nobody bought their stuff. Well, honey, nobody wants the yellow buffet. Generally, dining rooms are going to put a yellow buffet. Very few. I love it, and we're going to try it. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Market your pants off with that yellow buffet. The perfect buyer will come and get it. If you got time to wait, you got time to wait. But here's the thing. The price doesn't change because you put a yellow on it. But you know what? If you would have painted that gray, white, or black, it would be sold instantly. Now I understand. You want to paint that yellow, and you could do it. But it's most likely going to have to go on sale because nobody's going to pay that price for that thing. Not saying that everybody, but a lot of times it's a specialty finish. It's a specialty color. And I love accent pieces. Do a little side table. Do something fun. Do something that's safer for a person who's not as confident in their colors. And that's most households. So, not to say color isn't fun. Okay, because it's loads of fun. I love navy. My goodness, I had a red hutch in my house. A lot of people wouldn't do that. But I choose to do neutral things. And if that doesn't make sense, it's okay. But if you buy this and you want to do this hot pink and you want to do little things on here and you want to do all the frilly, you want to make it more of like a fiesta type of thing, you do you. But for my house, this is the look I'm going to go for. And in your business, you have to do what you've learned for your customer, like what fits your style, your brand, your customer, who you attract. Okay, does this make sense? Okay. All right, now that I've taken all this time to do all the storytelling, now we're gonna paint this. And it's gonna be boring to some of you guys, but it'll be okay. All right, I'm gonna use a sponge. Neutral is very safe, but you know what? I can't tell you how many pieces of furniture I painted. Oh my gosh. I painted so much furniture. So much furniture. And I can tell you right now, there was probably maybe 80 pieces in total that had like a faux finish, a specialty finish, like an ombre or a color blend or something like out of the norm. And a lot of those pieces I painted live on this Facebook page, and I showed people how to get those finishes. But in the background, we were mass painting white, black, and gray. I didn't sit down, very rarely did I sit down and paint white furniture because it's boring. but it's safe. We used to do a lot of like paint finishes and things like that, which you guys have probably watched some of those replays. All right, so I'm gonna use a sponge and I'm going to use some water. Just gonna get it a little bit wet, and we're gonna use the edge. We're gonna do this just like, we're gonna go the length of this, and we're gonna do like a whitewash on this. You love neutrals because then you can do, yes, oh my gosh, love it. Love it, yeah, agreed. I like to change my mind. Obviously, I have a thing for home decor. My furniture, as you see, is super neutral. I've gone into some furniture stores and I'm like, oh gosh, I just can't do. I used to do colorful. What percentage did you get for orders on bold Skittles colors? Very rare. So for me, so like I said, probably 80 pieces, and I've painted thousands of pieces of furniture. Maybe 3%. I'm just literally being honest. Maybe let's just go with and say 9%. 9% of the things that I did was colorful. And so when I say like colorful, like I did a navy kitchen table. Like I did a navy table and it sold, but I did white chairs. I did a navy, like top, and like there was some neutrality, but I felt like it was, like a safe neutral. I feel like there's like certain things that can be like blue. I feel like a super rich navy blue that almost is like a blue black can be a neutral color. So, I mean, I'm just saying that's my thoughts on that. Do you think at certain areas like Reading would, do I think certain areas like Reading, Pennsylvania would do it? I don't know. I would have to do my market research, and that's the goal for the people who live in that area to do that. Now, we did do occasional like coastal colors of furniture. It was still really few and far between. It really was. Like not a lot of people, even in our area, unless you have like a condo, very few people have an actual like coastal decor style. It's not very common. It's just not very common. Not to say that it's not like you can't do that. You can totally do that. But I feel like if you go, here's one of the things that you can do. Okay, this is one of the ways you can kind of learn your market in your area. Is go on Marketplace and look at houses for rent, and you're gonna see how those homes are decorated. Number two, go and look at your local stores and see what styles they're selling, okay? Go in and ask them for their best sellers. Go into a furniture store and say, hey, I wanna see your top 10 best-selling sectionals, love seats, dining room tables, bedroom furniture. You're gonna get a really good idea for what that looks like. And as far as like the decor style of people, that is gonna vary. Absolutely, it's gonna vary. 100%. Absolutely. But I think that everybody can do their own thing. Like if you want to do a style, do your style. Do your style. Do whatever works for you. I can tell you this, in this area, in my neighborhood, I don't live in a neighborhood now, but in my other house neighborhood, I think there is 2 houses in the whole neighborhood from my house all the way through my neighborhood, down the street and around the corner to the main road, like the Highway 21, where I have seen decorative, huge, beautiful, decorative wreaths on their doors. People either have nothing on their door, or they have like a monogram. It's the South. Very few people have these beautiful, gorgeous wreaths on their front doors. And that's just in that side of the neighborhood. Now, if you go to a whole different side of the neighborhood, where it's more of like the gated communities, 100% everybody and their brother has got the humongous wreath on their front door. Do you know why? They can afford it. And that's just me being honest. Everybody is going to be at a different place in their, what they prioritize. Like what they want to spend their money on, what they can spend their money on. And that's just the reality. It's so true. It's so true. Drive through your neighborhood and just do that. Do that research and see what you find. See what you find. And it's not to be like derogatory at anyone. I'm just saying, like, I'm able to recognize those things. All right, so here's my birdhouse. I did a little bit of a wash, making it kind of look drippy. You know, make it look drippy. And the side is going to be the roof. But I need to also paint the side of this. So I'm going to do a little drippy side here. Just a little bit. Just kind of like so. And you don't really even notice the this piece that overlaps on the front, right there. You don't really notice that anymore. All right, let's spin it. And we're gonna paint the back too. I like the streaky look too. I like how it's coming along as well. You know, I figured sometimes, like, we can always talk about like what we're crafting and stuff, but I like to have different conversations with people because I feel like I don't know everything, but I feel like I know a lot of stuff that I could just help maybe create a different conversation where people just think differently. I don't know. If you have, you know, these thoughts, you're asking yourself these questions, and you want a business or have a business or you want to make extra money, like, you need to understand, like, the market. You have to, like, think how the public thinks. And not everybody thinks like you. You know what I'm saying? Didn't realize that makeup sponge would do that. Oh my gosh, yes. And I just got it a little bit wet until it like puffs up at the end. And I'm just kind of streaking it just like that. And then I'll do it this way and then I'll move it like that. So sometimes it just depends on the direction that you're going. And it gives you like a sporadic look too. I've got a hair on here. I don't want to lay it down because this is still wet, but I want to get the back side. I guess I always get my mindset in that, like, everybody should be a business owner. Everybody should own their own business because it's so amazing. 'Cause I love being a business owner. I love owning my own business. I love the freedom that I have. Like, I don't want to say that I get to make all the rules, but I do sort of, kind of, but, you know, not all the rules. But not everybody wants to be that. Some people enjoy, like, going to work, going home, and not being responsible for all that stuff. Was there windows on that? Yes. They're on the front. You just haven't scored them out. We're gonna score them out. I found my little tool. I found my tool. Instead of using the little corn cob thing, we're gonna use one of these. Well, these lids never stay on. Okay. So now I'm just gonna go through where the lines are scored because we're gonna paint inside these. And I'm just going to basically scrape out the paint in the little groove and bring back that little line so that we can paint inside of it. It's not gonna be perfect because I don't want it to seem perfect, like a perfect line, because that doesn't seem realistic. So I kind of let it be a little jaggedy. And we're gonna paint within this. Yeah, so you can see the little windows? Right there. And that little boo-boo that we had, doesn't really matter, it'll be fine. So just score your little lines out. They're there, just follow them. It is better to do it while it's wet, but I didn't do that. I don't know, I look at people like, she's not old. Please don't think that I'm gonna say that she's old, but she's older. I'm pretty sure she's probably older than me, but I look at Debbie Westbrook's. She has refreshery style. I love her so much. I absolutely love her. She used to live in Statesboro. When I first found her blog, I adored her. Absolutely adored her. And I still adore her. Like, I just love her so much. But she's older and she has been going for she's been paving the way for like blogging for years. Years. And I remember reading her blog when I would do like my home decor and signs and things like that. And I just loved her website. I thought, oh my gosh, she's such my inspiration. And y'all, she is dynamite. She's since moved. She's moved. But I absolutely still adore her. I think she's so much of an inspiration to all of us. And she's older than I am. And I'm like, she is doing great big things. I can do great big things. She can do great big things. I can do great big things. Some people get upset because it's like, success is difficult because it requires growth and it requires change along the way. And most people are like, since you grew your business, you've changed. No, I've had to like delegate. I've had to learn to delegate some things. I don't think that I've changed. I've gotten wiser. I've gotten a little bit thicker skin. I just have had to change my priorities on what I prioritize in my life. Like access to people in my life too has had to change. But I mean, I think that sometimes we have to make certain choices in our life based on where we're going, not where we've come from. And so not everybody's gonna like the choices that you make. So just know that too. We have evolved, you're right. I'm gonna get a different piece of this because I don't like all the brown stuff on there and I don't want that to get on my paint. But I do wanna sand this before I add the black. And then I do want to do, okay, let me show you what this brown looks like on here in case you guys want to see more of the brown tones. I do have blue. I do have a little bit of blue because I'm thinking I might want to do a little bit of blue. I also have some black. We're gonna see where it goes, okay? It might just stay kind of neutral, but I think it's gonna be really fun. All right, I need to get me, I feel like I just got paint on my eye. I need to get me one of these little thingamabobs. These are the little, the ones I get at Lowe's or Home Depot are green. The ones from Amazon are like darker. So there's these, and then there's like these. These are like 120, 120, 120, 120. These are all 120. So I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use the 80 grit. I know, blue. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be so fun. All right, we're gonna take and attach it. All right, so I want to spot distress. Again, remember this edge is gonna be covered, so we're just gonna kind of spot distress this in a more of a natural way, even though it's completely not natural. But I'm just gonna sand, and it's gonna also create like a scratchy look. And if you don't like that, you're gonna need to add more paint. You have to think about the end result, like what are you trying to achieve? And so I'm just gonna go through and just kind of bounce it off. And remember, these are gonna be black, and then we're gonna have a little thing, so we're layering this. You can always come back and add distressing later. I love a good distress. This one came from Amazon. My other ones I got from Lowe's. Now this is where you kind of want to sand little spots. So where my little line is gonna go, I'm gonna do a little distressing there. Just gonna add character and depth. Hello, you just saw that I was on? So again, just find your vision. And don't forget that these little pieces are gonna go on here just like so. Okay, these little perchy things are gonna go just, and you can add these so you can see like a vision for where it's going. So just like this, and then your little trim. It's like you can make this as magical as you want it to be. Okay. So I also have a little bit of gray because I'm super extra. I'm always extra. I'm gonna take a little on a brush, and I'm not even gonna clean up all the dust and everything. Just gonna spray some on some water. And I'm just going to kind of get my brush a little, it's probably too much. And I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna go just along a couple of areas. We're gonna cover that with black, so we don't need to worry about that. Just creating layers. Oh, almost dropped it. So, layer. All right, I feel like that's good. Let's get this side. You can kind of see that. That gray. It's not gonna be stark white. It's kind of the point. I just don't want it to, I want it to feel a little not so starky white. See how it's just distressing? And scoop up that little extra. So just add a little bit. Okay. All right, now we got this. Now we need to do our black. So I'm gonna start mine with, I'm gonna do, hang on, I gotta find the right brush for this. I'm gonna do an angled brush. Yeah, I'm gonna do this angled brush. No, this is just the bird hotel. No, there's no birds that come with it. All right, we're gonna do black. And I'm just gonna put this on the paper. And we're gonna paint within these openings. So it's pretty repetitive. But, and again, you don't have to be super perfect with this. Just try to go and follow the little score line. As you go around. You could use a paint pen if you want to. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna sand it, so it's gonna probably look a little distressed anyways. Super repetitive. But these lines are really forgiving too. I love it. Okay, so now you can see how this is looking. It's creating that hole illusion. There's not really a hole there. So how was your weekend? Mine was okay. It rained today here. And I didn't go to Home Depot. I was gonna go to Home Depot and I didn't. I just did not leave the couch today. I just didn't leave the couch. You're really enjoying, yeah, I enjoyed talking with you guys too. So while we paint the same repetitive thing, how I like to take some time sometimes where it's like people who have like a page or a business or they have questions or they're just getting started, like I like to be able to like give advice or like how can I help somebody else? Not that I have all the answers, but like if you have questions, you can always ask them and I will like do my best to answer them as honestly as I possibly can.
Hey.
What you been doing?
Not much.
Not much. Is your throat feeling better?
Yeah.
Oh, good. His throat was bothering him. Did you eat dinner? Oh, you have those chicken rings.
Yeah.
So he likes the White Castle.
Make dinner?
No, your dad ate ramen.
Oh.
He crunched it
I
up.
was gonna make something.
Yeah, he crunched it up and he made. So I would eat the ramen whole, like noodles. My husband crunched up his ramen and I was like, it's basically pre-chewed. Do you have to have a ring light to start lives? No. So if you remember, which you probably don't, probably remember. So I have all my lights on in my kitchen. I have a light on in the background behind me. And if you aren't familiar, back in the day when I first started doing my videos, I did videos in my store, the back of my store, in a little area. It was about 8 by 8. It was 8 foot by 8 foot. And I would go get a lamp out of my vendor's booth and I would take the shade off and I would lay it down and point it towards me, and then I would rubber band my phone to a chair. Oh, hold on, y'all. Let me move you closer. Let's see. Oh, everyone says, hello, Caden.
What's up?
Yeah, the White Castle chicken rings, he loves them. His is super spicy.
Oh my mom.
He says they're not spicy, but they're spicy.
They are spicy, but they're not like, oh my lord. Like,
what is the best paint for wood furniture? Well, I will say this. I used to recommend Dixie Belle paint a lot, and then I just got away from recommending them. I can't personally support their business. And it's a personal choice. Their paint is absolutely amazing. I just, within my conscience, I cannot support their business the way that they had treated not only myself, but other artists. And it is just a personal choice. Again, I think their paint is the best furniture paint. Second best for me would be Wise Owl. I love Wise Owl paint. I think it's fantastic. It is phenomenal furniture paint. And then my next recommendation would be General Finishes. Now, if you love a clay-based paint and you like more of an artisan finish and you're gonna do like that, I love Debbie's Design Diary. She has her own brand of paint called DIY Paint, which I used to sell in my store, and I love it. Absolutely love it. But to get started, let me just give you a piece of advice. Do not think for 1 second that you have to go and buy all the expensive things, because you don't have to do that. You could just make your own paint. Just make your own. Start where you are, okay? And as you can improve, you know, you can still get a really good finish with making your own chalk paint. You just have to add like a top coat to it. And most of the time, paints like Dixie Belle have their top coat built in. Like, you don't have to add a wax or anything. So you'll have to do that little extra step, but it's going to save you money. But in the end, you want to save time because you're not going to have a lot of time. You're not going to have a lot of time. But start with what you can afford. Don't think you have to do all the extras. It's the first thing to do in starting a business. Well, number one, you need to do some research on what you want your business to be. What is it that you want to sell? What is it you want to offer? Like if you're going to do a service. And then do your market research. If you want to have a local business, if you want to have an online business, know the market, know the industry, and look at people who are your competition. Because most people who are, here's the thing, don't be the person who looks at your competition and copies them. Look at your competition and be inspired by them. Because if your competition is winning and they're very successful, that tells you that there is a market for that product and that service, but don't do what they're doing. Don't be a carbon copy. Like, please don't. You have, like, this is the one thing that gets me the most is when a person, I'll use myself as an example. If a person sees me make this, they're going to go and they're going to copy this kit. They're going to offer it in their shop and they're going to undercut me. Okay. They're going to undercut. First of all, they're going to try to replicate this because they see that I have a successful business doing craft kits and home decor and tutorials and I have a blog and all these things. And, I'm just hypothetical. Okay. This has actually happened, but just hypothetical here. I'm using this as an example. And so they go and they make their own and they put it in their shop and they underprice their kit. Okay. Because they think that by charging less, they're going to sell more. Okay. But what they don't realize is that when they grow their business and they're like, oh gosh, we got to hire people. We have more expenses. We need to buy more machinery. We need to buy more equipment. We need to invest. What they were able to charge $12 for now actually costs them twice that to make. Okay. Because it's not just them. And so they're undercutting the market. Like everybody is where they are. They're not pricing themselves into an established market that I'm charging this price. This is what the market should be paying based on a fully operational, functional, tax-paying, legitimate employee having business with expenses. And now you want to grow your business, but you priced yourself way down here because you think that you're going to sell more and do more. But you need that profit margin, number one, to grow into and to invest out of. But then by doing that, you're devaluing the market. You've watered it down to say, I can charge less because I have no clue where I'm going. But in a year, I'm going to need to charge twice this price because that's the cost of goods. It's the cost of someone to be hired to make it. That's a cost of your power bill is going to go up. That's a cost of materials. Like that's a cost is going to go up. And you did not factor that in when you first started. So number one, do your research. There's a reason why certain things cost what they do. So yes, you can go get it elsewhere cheaper for a moment. And there will probably always be a cycle of cheaper people because they haven't figured out what it costs to actually run a business. And so running it out of their house is fine. And then they need to grow it because it's grown. And now they need to rent a warehouse and they can't afford to because they aren't charging enough. They're not charging to invest. And that's how it is. That's how it is. So please, when you're doing your research for competitors who are doing these things, there's a reason why the foundation has been laid the way it has. I've had to learn this. It used to just be me and my husband. I used to do all the deliveries with my husband. I used to pick up all my own furniture. I used to clean it and paint it myself. I used to do all the things. And I would buy a dresser for $75 and I would sell it for $200. And I would just be like, the great profit margin. And then it was like, holy crap, now I got to hire people. Now I understand why the dresser is $400. It's not because we're trying to price gouge people. It's because, holy crap, the taxes, because you have state tax and you have federal tax. You have to realize that. So you have to pay these, right? So don't think that we're just trying to get rich, friends. That's not true. We're just trying to grow a business. We're trying to grow and hire people and create more opportunities and stay out of jail. Nobody wants to go to tax jail. So charge based on the market, most of the time you're going to find that places like, I don't know, McDonald's is going to have this price of a cheeseburger, but then Burger King is going to have a very comparable price for their cheeseburger. And that is because they are in the same market. They have the same type of product. They're a little bit different. Their prices aren't going to be exact. But they are, for the most part, pretty respectful to the industry that they're in, that they price themselves within the market. So don't undercut your industry by thinking that charging less means you're making more. And so I just had this conversation with somebody not very long ago about their craft kits. I reached out to a lady and was like, hey, you are not charging near enough for the work that you're putting into this. Oh, well, I'm getting a really good deal on so-and-so. Well, that's great. What are you going to do in a year when you need to get a building? What are you going to do in a year when you need to buy a bigger machine? Where's that money going to come from? Well, I just want to make enough, just a little bit. I just want to make a little. No, you don't. Nobody just wants to just make a little bit. That is a lie you can tell yourself. You can make it not about money, which most people do. They try to downplay the money part. Like, I just want to make a little. I don't want to make a whole lot of money. Yes, you do. Because you're going to realize after a year how hard you're working, and when you're making pennies, because the IRS man's going to make more than you do, you're going to realize that you're going to want to make more than pennies. And if you have a business, you know that I'm telling the truth right now. Facts. 100%. 100%. Anyways, sorry. I'll go on to the next question. First thing to do your research. Do your research. It's a bird hotel, but sort of. Sort of. It's like a bird hotel-ish. Bird hotel-ish. It didn't say I was still on. Oh, that's unfortunate. Not surprised. What's up, Ange? I see you. What kind of wood do you use for craft kits? I use MDF. Some people use birch. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't use birch because it's more expensive than MDF. And it takes longer to cut on my machine. So we did a test cut because I thought about getting like the birch wood, and I was like, ugh, we have to slow this machine down so slow to get it to cut all the way through because there's voids and knots and all the things. This stuff right here cuts like butter. So I have a Thunder Nova. We have a couple of them. We actually have like 5 machines, but we have 2 big machines, like 2 major big ones. And those cut, so this is 1/8 of an inch, which I really want to grow into like 1/4 of an inch so I can do thicker stuff. I thought about getting this like a CNC. Just haven't done that yet because it's really going to be a little messy. But we did a test cut, and so this cuts at 30 speed and like 60 power. So when you have your focus set in and you have everything set in place, the goal is for you to cut this as quickly as possible. And that's where we are. So when I was cutting the birch, it was cutting at like 10 or 15 speed, which is half. Okay. So we were cutting super fast. And then we had to cut it down to like 10 or 15. I was like, that is not, it'll take 2 hours. Like when we do a cut now, it takes an hour per cut that we do, like per session of cuts that we do. It's anywhere from like 40 minutes to an hour. And we are cutting literally all day long, hours and hours and hours of cutting. And so we need to get as much done. So we're looking at production. So how much can you produce within an hour in your business that is product? So when you look at manufacturing, production time and quotas and things like that. So that's really important. So if something takes 45 minutes to cut and you're only able to get one of those things done, because I know my Glowforge, it took us a really long time to cut certain things, and time is money. Let me just be real, time is money. And we would get maybe, we were to do a tier tray kit, it would be like 30 minutes, somewhere around 17 to 30. It was on average. It depends on how many pieces were in it. Per kit, so every 30 minutes, we were able to produce this thing. So let's look at what that really looks like. So if you're gonna pay an employee, let's say $12 an hour, and they're there running one machine that's going to cut one kit in, let's say 45 minutes, they've done one kit, you have to have time to load the machine, unload the machine, reset the machine, and cut time. So you've now got an hourly wage of, let's say $12 going out to that person. And you're charging $25 for that kit. So now you have your hourly wage to your employee, you have taxes, you have materials, you have, do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, you see where I'm going? Time is money, materials, cleaning materials, power. You have to make your hour profitable based on what you're producing. So the thing that you're cutting in that hour has to make X, Y, and Z. So I just need you to think about these things as to why we don't use certain materials, because of the time that it takes to cut it. So we need to produce a lot of things within an hour. Make sense? Okay, so you have to start to look at how you're scaling your business in the future. So it's great that I started with a Glowforge. I had 2 of them, because listen, we got to make the best of that hour, right? I was paying someone to load and unload, because I need to be busy over here doing these other things that are making us money over here. So now I've got to divide and conquer. So you just have to learn as you go. What inspired me to create this project? This is not my design. This is actually somebody else's design. Her name's Shauna. She is phenomenal, and this was hers, and I just add a little tweak to it. But I support other people who design files, and I buy license to like distribute blanks. Some people who create designs don't let you produce blank kits. Like I sell blanks so you can craft at home. Some people will let you make this and finish it and sell the finished product. I don't do that. My business is I'm a creative business that I want other people to be creative. I don't want you to buy my finished stuff. I don't want to sell it finished. And so you have to get your designs from people who allow you to have a commercial license, that allow you the right to like mass produce blanks in large quantities. So that's what I have to do, or I design my own, in which I have some of my own designs because I'm trying to learn. But I'm not fully there yet. So this actually was hers, and I made one in the Creative Haven. It was a little bit different than this one. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. I have a thing for birdhouses, by the way. And so I knew I wanted to do this. And I don't know. I think that's why I was like, yo, I have hundreds of designs that I've not even put like in the shop. I haven't cut them, I haven't made them. Some of y'all have probably never even seen them. But I also think that it allows other people to like their designs to be showcased. So for that's why, but this is not my design. It is not for the faint of heart. Facts. Owning a business is a marriage. Yes. Yeah, well, especially a brick and mortar. I will say that. A brick and mortar for me, Y'all, when my son and my daughter-in-law told me they were going to have a baby, it didn't go over well with me. I was not ready to be a grandparent. Number one, I had a meltdown in the Chili's parking lot. I lost my mind. I was not ready for that. And then I had to come to grips with reality that they were married. They were eventually going to have kids. I just wasn't ready to be a grandparent. I was like, y'all, I just was not ready. I was like 40. Okay. I was 40. And so it occurred to me, you know, that I was basically, like he said, married to that storefront. You set your hours. You're going to be open during those hours. You have to be physically present, or you have to hire somebody to do that. And then I had a very physically draining job. Like, it was just very physically draining. So I was that girl who did not let other people decorate my store. Every week I would redo my entire store, which meant I moved lots of furniture. I was redoing the whole store. Okay. I wanted every week that every customer came in, that they had a fresh and different experience, that it was never boring. It was never the same, all the things. And so when Zach and Michelle had said they were having a baby, I was like, okay, so this is my new life. And then you start to realize that you have to admit that you're like, where am I going to find the time? Because I don't trust people. I don't trust people. Y'all, I hired Dylan. Dylan worked in the store. And then I had a parent that worked in my store. I had vendors who were there. But I was like, I would tell myself, like, nobody can decorate the way you do. Nobody has a vision for the store the way that you have. This is your store. This is your vision. This is the thing that you do. This is what people love about, like, this is what you're good at. Find what you're good at and do that. And I'm not good with people, so I was good at decorating and styling stores, painting furniture, doing all the things. So then I started to realize, okay, well, then Avery was born. And then I was like, I don't care if the store burns down. I don't want to go there. I just want to be able to not be held hostage to this place. And it's not that you're hostage, but you kind of are, because there's no one to negotiate with. You're either open or you're not. And if you're not open, you're not making money. So you have to go, or somebody has to be there. And so then I started to think to myself, okay, well, my store was open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. There was not a lot of time, okay, for me to not be there. So then on Fridays, my husband would go in and he would work the store for me. And I would be able to stay home. And then I just was like, God, I'm tired. Something has to give. Something has to give. And then it was time to renegotiate my lease. And God was just making it super impossible for us to stay there. So I closed the store. We had just won Best of the Best. What was it? It was best furniture store in the Coastal Empire. Like, we won best of the best. I even have awards. I have several awards. So I just, in the same month of May, won Best of the Best, like, furniture store in the Coastal Empire. I'm having a closing store sale, by the way. It was second year that we won that award. And I'm like, who closes in the prime of their business? Like, we're at the top of our game. We're the best of the best. We sold the store out constantly, and we're closing. And it was just, no one needed for it to make sense, but God made it make sense. And there was a reason. Number one, was physically tired. I was physically tired. I got so tired of just not having a life. And this is why most people don't understand why I've been taking, like, so glad that I could take Christmas time off. That I'm glad that I get to craft from my kitchen island. Because when you have a brick and mortar store and you have one for 4 years, you don't realize how much of that 4 years you had no control over. I would rather sit here at my kitchen island, stain the mess out of it, than to be held hostage to that storefront and miss out on being able to get up from my island and go out shopping or go sit and watch a movie with my husband or have dinner with my family or go outside and I have complete control. And I didn't have that control. And so it's hard. It is. And store ownership is not for everybody. It is not for everybody. And for some, it's everything. They love it. They thrive on it. They live and breathe by it. It's everything that they've ever wanted. And for some people, it's not. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just feel like I went through the season where I wanted my own store. And then I went through the season where I didn't. And that's okay. But Dustin is 100% right. You are married to that thing. And then you have to get a divorce. Our electric bill must be crazy. Well, our electric bill at the other house is probably, I don't know, it's about $400 or $500. It's not too bad. When we move to a warehouse, it'll be a little bit different. Oh, trust me, it'll be a lot different. But no, the machines are pretty energy efficient. They're pretty energy efficient. The thing that makes the most power is our AC unit. It's keeping it climate controlled. Let's see. You've always heard however much you have in your craft to charge 3 times to... Yes and no. I'm going to give a perfect example of that. So, I had a person who constantly had access to like free furniture. Free or darn near almost free, okay? This person would get it, like if we had to pay $150 for a dresser, or like a buffet or a credenza or something, she was paying like $25. She had this person that she had that got her furniture for her. She was getting super duper cheap prices, and that was great. And then she would come in and she would charge, like, she would undercut people within my store. And I'm like, no. So I had to create a price list. This is the market for a dresser. You need to be within this range. I don't care how much you paid for it. I don't care if you paid $20 for it. Not everybody is getting to pay $20 for theirs. And so you get to make more money. That's called smart buying. Buy low, sell high. So just because you paid $20 does not mean that you're now, you know, what a dresser in my store would be right around $4.99. Some of them would be like $3.99. Occasionally we'd have an $800 dresser. It just depended on the brand of the dresser, style. And so she'd come in and she'd put $1.99 on that sucker. No ma'am. No ma'am. We are not doing that. No, because that's few and far between. You will be putting this price on there. So that was a good buy for you, but you don't get to just, you see what I'm saying? She can't just charge 3 times something. So sometimes you have to look at what the market rate is and buy smart. So buy smart so that you can charge market rate. But yes, essentially there is a formula, so to speak, on what you should ideally charge for your things. Absolutely. But then you also have to factor in your like time to make it. Just because you can, you know, make something for cheap doesn't mean that you charge cheap. The first cutting machine, so Omtech has what's called a K40. It's really nice. I do like the Glowforge because it's very user-friendly. You literally just get it out of the box and you plug it in and you do all the things. It's fantastic. And then there's also an X-Tool. X-Tool is pretty good. I've done a lot of research on that one because I had somebody that had asked about that. And I didn't really know a whole lot about it, but I did a bunch of research. I've never had one to know all the things, but I did. Do your research. But I think you have to invest in whatever is like, whatever's going to help you move forward. So some people feel like they can do the learning curve of like an OMTech K40, where you got to do a lot of like of the manual like learning of things, lots of calibration and stuff like that. But then they're like, I just can't invest anything else, so I have to learn. But if you can invest in a Glowforge to get you started, sure, you don't have to do that. If you have the space, I highly recommend, personally, go big or go home. If you have the space and the money to invest, I absolutely love the Thunder Nova so much. I just love it. I wish that I would have gotten that first, which I didn't. It's okay. So here's where we are with my black little arches. They're not perfect. They're cute. Super cute. Love it. So it's all within where you are, but I loved the Glowforge. It was very user-friendly, slow. It's a slow forge, but it is a very great starting point. It gets your feet wet. It helps you become familiar with like how these machines work. It lets you experiment. They are like $6,000, I'm not gonna lie. So you probably need to think about that investment. But if you hustle really hard, you can pay it off within no time. So let's see. You guys are so sweet. You was 43 when you had your first granddaughter. It's hard. I mean, I see her a lot, but it eats all your profits. It does. It really does. I now have 2 grandkids. So, you know, then you have to divide your time a little bit more. I don't know. I want freedom in my life. That's where I am. I'm just being real. I just want freedom. I know my business takes a lot of work, and I set business hours, and I try to really work hard. So you sell your kits, but not what you actually make in front of us. Right. I don't sell anything made. I don't sell a finished product. Absolutely not. This is mine. This will go in my house. I will use it. I've shown you all the things. All of the crafts that I've made in the past 3 years, over 3 years. They're mine. We did an auction at one point in time, which I really want to get back to that. I just feel like we just have to get to the right stage of our life to make that happen. So I'm going to mix up some blue. I'm going to do some blue on this paper, and I'm going to add just a smidge of black. And we're going to use a brush for this. Okay, so I'm just going to little dab will do ya. You know, it's raining. This blue is a little bit more blue than I like. I want it to be like a navy. There we go. That's so much better. Okay, so there's my blue. And we're gonna do our trim. I'm doing color, just a little. Well, this is just what I like. Blue's not for you. Please don't do blue. It is quiet. Well, my husband has to get up and go to work early. The TV's off. Caden's upstairs. He's not been feeling good. I'm Pretty sure Dylan's in his room, or he's not even here. I don't even remember where Dylan is. April's in her room. I hear somebody. I hear somebody up there. But normally we have a house full of people here, but on the weekends, typically on Sundays, we kind of are to ourselves. We don't really have a lot of visitors. It's usually on Saturday. Okay, so I'm loving that color. And that's on my little ruffle trim. And that blue is midnight blue mixed with a little bit of black. And I'll show you. You see the midnight blue? And I just got a little dab of black. And I have it with my brush. Just right there. All right. You hear the rain? Should get it in your order tomorrow. That is awesome. Yeah. I don't know who got it, but I think I made an error. So if you ordered the Love Lives Here sign and you got a large hanging sign stand, that would be my fault. It is what it is. I think there's only 2 orders that happened to. We were able to find and fix the other ones that we messed up, but pretty sure there's 2 orders that I know for sure that I 100% missed. But you know, we are human, we make mistakes, we have issues, we have errors, and that's okay. I love this blue. Absolutely love it. Oh, this is gonna be so fantastic. Blue is not your thing. Almost is like a black blue. I have to sand. I want to keep this brown, I think. Let me dry this. I just want to see. We're gonna have freezing in Dallas. Ooh. We had a 90% chance of rain today. It's so pretty. Blue is my favorite color too. Your living room colors are red, white, and blue. Mine used to be red, white, and blue. I just don't do red as much. How many kids do I have? I have 3 sons, and they're grown. My oldest son is married. He has 2 daughters. Oh my goodness. I love the accent of blue. I feel like I want to paint all of it white though. I'm gonna sand it. I'm gonna sand it. Hold on, y'all. Because I overpainted. We're gonna try to create a streaky. I'm gonna try to make that little spot blend in a little bit better. Let's dust it. Okay, I like that better. Okay, I like that so much better. Love it. Okay, let's go ahead and do this side. I'm just sanding. Love the weathered look. Oh, I do too. Just sanding. And this is that 80 grit. Create those little patches. All right. Okay, side, side. I feel like it's softer. It's a softer look. All right, let's get this area there. It's where we get to do all the dressing. Is this Bird Hotel from the shop or a monthly? No, this is not the monthly. We don't do the monthly box on this page. We do the monthly box in a Facebook group. So we don't do that on this page, but this is a craft kit from the shop. February's box, we have, I think I said we have 16 of them left, and it is an interchangeable kit, which we will do, which mails out February 3rd. So if you want to get the February box, you need to get, like, you need to secure that for sure. Thank you, Connie. Thank you. All right. So let's just see what we got with our blue, little blue details. It's not like a bold blue, it's just a blue. I mean, you can totally tell it's blue. And I like it. I love it. All right, let's sand the top. I'm gonna do the top. Same way we did the sides. And we're gonna glue that on. Make the sides kind of match. Okay, we're going to glue this on to the top here. So I'm going to sand this just a little. And that's gonna go right on the top, just like this. Get my glue. The little sander. Y'all, you would think that everybody on this planet had that sander, but apparently not everybody does. So I got it, I got mine initially at Lowe's. But you can get it on Amazon. Just get it centered up. This is a craft kit, yes. Yeah. We talked about this the other day. Like I showed you guys a picture of this. Yes, you can order the little sander from Amazon. You're watching Mikey? Yeah, I love watching Mikey. He's fun. I don't always get to see him, but when I do, I have to like drop in and say hello, like show my love. Okay, so again, top, sides. We're doing our accent piece with the color. Okay. Now, like I said, this is not one of the cheaper craft kits. This is a little bit more expensive. It takes a little bit more time. Obviously, I've talked a whole lot tonight, but I want you guys to see, like, if you were to go buy this, it would be like, obviously at Hobby Lobby, you probably pay $69, maybe $70 or more, unless, you know, and then you have to wait till it's on 50% off at coupon. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Like, it's a specialty item, you know? Good night, Debbie. It's okay. You can always watch a replay. Y'all, is pouring rain. Okay. So now I'm going to attach, now that I've got my top piece on, and now I've got the top, this thing we just added. I'm going to add this onto here because now I can push it right up to that piece at the top. So you're going to go right up underneath to that piece. So we're going to glue this on. Oh my, where did my glue? Oh, there it is. It fell. Okay, so we're going to glue along here. You can lightly sand it just to make sure. We're going to add our glue. Now this is going to go on. Forgot to sand it. We'll come back and sand the rest of this. So we're going to put this on, and I like to pull and then come to the side, like overlay it and then come to the edge. Now just hold it there. And then we're going to distress this. Okay, so now it should be completely flush. So this is our little blue accent on our roof. Super cute. All right, let's go ahead and, because where this touches, I'm not gonna be able to get my sandpaper up in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go around the top of this. And we'll add our glue. You know, the finishing details are really up to you, but it does help to assemble this first. For sure. And attach this. Find your edge. Watch your fingers so you don't glue yourself to it. All right, while that's drying, I'm going to distress this just a little. And I'm just following the little lines like if it was beaded. Again, make it your own. Just so you can kind of see like how I sanded this and created that little bit of lines to create that dimension, how it made it feel more like dimensional. And now this side hasn't been sanded. So just a little distressing creates a lot more character on this side versus this one. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Again, just lightly sanding it. Just lightly. And we're just going to go through these just lightly. You're creating dimension from like maybe a one-dimensional thing, just giving it character. I feel like this side is a little bit more distressed. Let my glue dry. This side's a little bit more distressed. It's okay. You can always add a little extra. Because once you get it done, you're just gonna kind of leave it. Super cute. All right, let's dust it. I don't top coat anything. I do. So I won't top coat it, no. No, I like my stuff to not have a top coat. But that, again, my preference. All right, so then I need to decide, do I want to leave these wood or do I want to do them blue? And these are the little perchy like things that go on here like so. I really like the wood. I like the wood mixed with the blue. I think it's really fun. So I think I'm gonna do that. And then we gotta do our bottom. I did not do anything to that. There's not a whole lot of steps. It's just mainly the assembly of this. I need to glue that. How did I miss that? Turn it. Let me get it white. Sorry, the glue. So this one goes there. And then this one. And the next one. Yeah, I love it. So I have a thing for like home decor. Like I want to be able to decorate with the things that I make. And some people just want to craft, and that's okay too. It's just, you know, it's a matter of preference. It There's nothing wrong with it. But I love, love to decorate. I love to decorate. I have a thing for that. It's one of the number one things I loved about my store was being able to decorate and do all the stuff. All right, I'm gonna take these off so that I can make sure that this is straight. You want to get this straight so you guys can see how it looks. I adore it already. Okay, let's glue this one. And you don't have to use the Gorilla Glue. You can use the Dollar Tree glue. You can use not Dollar Tree glue. You can use like whatever glue you want. You could use craft glue, wood glue. You don't have to use super glue. I just happen to like the super glue. Okay, so super cute. And then this one here. You can check your level too. I don't do all that. I mean, I just kind of eyeball it. I figure it's distressed. It's worn, it's weathered. Okay. So there's my little things. So adorable. Now underneath, I'm just gonna sand just a little distressing. Put it on the edge. Creating a little added dimension. Just a little bit of character. So again, like I said, you don't have to put the bottom on it, which is this bottom piece here. You don't have to do that. Your bottom goes on there. This can stay open if you want it to. You can put, like a spindle on here, and you can put this in like a planter bucket. You could dress this up in a number of ways. You don't have to add the bottom. So be creative with how you want to display yours. And some people could drill holes in these and put little lights and twinkly lights. Again, use this the way you want to. It does have this back on it. It has this opening in here. It's completely up to you what you want to do with it, okay? But there is a bottom. Okay, there's a bottom. All right, now the little finial top, okay? Little finial. And I already stained this, and it's brown. It has some score lines on it. And I'm going to go ahead and glue mine together. So double check how it goes. Make sure that you do a little test fit so you know which one is face up and which one is not. So this faces up. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to this. And you want to try to get it right, because it's got to sit on the top. I don't recommend hot glue for this. I just really don't. All right, this one goes on next. There's 4 pieces. Oops. There's 4. This is 3 so far. You're going to want to use all 4. Get this white. And we'll sand the edges of this. All right, now this is the back. And then this is going to get glued on that top plate. Put a little too much super glue on this. It's all good. All right, so now that this is together, I'm just gonna lightly sand. Stick my finger to it. So, do you see how this is looking? Can't get my finger in there. Finger the sander. Okay, so we're starting to make it look distressed. Oh, this is super cute. Yeah, so if you guys got this one, I hope you like it. I hope you have fun making it. I really want to see your versions. I also added a bunch of new kits today that I've been working on. I just hadn't got them listed, but there is, if you go to where it says newest items or our newest items, they're all in there, and you'll see the different ones, and they're super cute. Just sanding it down. So it's not really meant to be a finial, but it's gonna look kind of close. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of paint. Where's my brown? This little bit of brown. And I'm just gonna highlight just like little bits. Just little small areas. I'll go over it with a wipe. Just make sure. It's just touch it needs. All right, so it looks kind of like that. That looks worn. Go ahead and do the back side, just because the back is finished. This way you can set it somewhere. If you see the back, it'll be okay. All right, now, So this is gonna go on the top, and it's gonna go as central as you can get it. Now, if you wanna do this blue, you can do this blue. It's completely up to you. I'm just gonna leave it brown. I'm gonna sand the bottom just to make sure it's flat. As flat as I can get it. Now I'm gonna find the middle, and then I'm gonna turn it and see if it's centered. So find the middle, and then find the middle. And so kind of see where the middle is. Now, if you want to do your top like a different color, you can. I think it's just really fun this way. So far, this is mine. It's completely a matter of preference for you. All right, now I'm going to stain the bottom brown for mine. And let me get my brown. Ooh. I just need to get a new white. I'm gonna stain this. Thank you, Karen. Well, I hope you guys had fun. We had a great chit chat. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you were inspired. Maybe you just had a good conversation. Maybe you had a good conversation with somebody else watching. I don't know. The goal is that you feel encouraged, empowered, inspired, motivated. What you learn, if it's not for you, and you meet somebody or somebody you knows needs to hear what we've talked about, you know, share it with them. You know, I know that I have friends who like are business friends, but then I also have people who don't have a business, you know, and so it's not that it's for everybody, but you just never know who you're going to encounter. Pay it forward, pass it on. Let's try this. You like watching? Well, I love that you like watching. It makes my day. It really does. But this will make a really great housewarming gift if you wanted to, you know, thought about like something you could do for like a family member, a friend, a neighbor, somebody you go to church with, a teacher, like anybody that you know that might, like this would be a super cute classroom display, just something fun. It'd make a great gift idea. It's just a fun way to say thank you. But you get to put your own touches on it too. This would also make a really fun craft night for you and your friends. So keep that in mind. I know some of you guys do the church workshops, like once a month you do the ladies craft night. If that's you, this would make a really fun craft at night. Just saying. Just saying. I'm trying to think of all the things that I would think of to like motivate people to like think outside the box. And all right, where'd my sandpaper go? There it is. All right, we're gonna sand this, and most of this is gonna be covered, so don't worry if you get it wrong. It's gonna be the inside, but what the heck? Let's go ahead and finish it. Okay, so this is the last step, is the putting on the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna add the glue to the bottom of the birdhouse, the bird hotel. Can you make this out of cardboard? You certainly can. I'm not gonna give you the template to do that. You'd have to do that all on your own. This design is licensed, so I cannot share it with you, but you can certainly do all the things. It's just not something that I'm gonna, sometimes in the past I've done like a template. I can't do that with this because it is a commercial product. and I don't have the permission to share the design with other people, so. All right, I'm just gonna put it on here. And it just kind of barely fits on to the stand. Yeah, so you can see it just kind of barely fits on there. And I'm gonna wipe this back. All the sides, the extra glue. And then I'm gonna show you guys the craft room in progress. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Let's put this stuff away. Now, all this stuff has to get cleaned up too. Can I give height and width? It's on the shop. You can go see it in the listing. It's there. But this is what the bottom now looks like. If you want to finish this, let's go ahead. Just throw some finishing on there. Just go ahead and do all the things. Super easy. I do have paint on this edge over here, but I can get that later. Just go over it. Just finish it up. And you can see the paint on the edge. That's all right. It'll bother me until I get it. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. Let's try it. Thanks, you guys. I hope you have a great week. Hope you had a great time. Okay, so let me show ya. Let me show y'all. So let's see. This is what it looks like. I try to get it off of the white because it'll start to get really reflective. This is super duper cute. Let's go. So over here, we made this one. Right there. So that one is a craft from the Creative Haven. That was one version. And then, like, if I wanted to put this over here by this planter, let me just move this over. I need to fluff the flowers on this one, the greenery. You could put this like down here. It's super duper cute. Adorb. We can put it up higher. Let's move. And I'll show you guys. I'm just literally moving everything aside just so I can show you like on a surface that's kind of blank where you guys can see what it looks like. So this is how I did mine. It's got that little top on it. It's super duper cute. From afar, no one's gonna know that that's not actual holes. I like it by the planter too, but I really feel like I wanna do 2 of these. The other thought was that would be really cute up there. I just haven't really thought about what I want to do up there, but I thought that was really fun. So right there, this would be just adorable, okay? Just cute. So you could like scooch this over. You could do, I mean, probably not this, but you could do a couple of different things. You could do some like greenery tucked behind. There's a number of ways that you can do it, but this is the best way that I can show you how this looks right there. So I will take a picture of this and post it for you guys so you can see my version. Again, I just did a navy trim as my accent color, just a little bit of color so it's a contrast from the black. I love it. Love it. Yeah, the gray birds. Okay, so let me show you guys. So this is the kitchen. Okay, clearly my kitchen is a disaster. My kitchen table, again, disaster. The house is, this is Sunday for us. We've had kids over. We've got blankets everywhere, toys, baskets. Our house is lived in. It is. But this is the living room. Then you have the kitchen. Then you have the dining. We have a porch here. We have a porch there. And then this hallway, look, we even have a vacuum because I was cleaning. That goes to April's room. There's a bathroom and then there's another room. So we're going to go through here. And then right through here is this room. And this is the room. So again, you see, this is where we will relocate to, right here. And it has a big window. It has closet doors. This was where the dog's kennel was. And the pack and play, that's why it's kind of out there. We have to just take it down and put it away. But so I'm moving this out. This is not staying in here. This is for my grandmother. It's actually my hope chest. I got that when I was 16. And I will pass that on to Avery because she's the oldest granddaughter. I am the oldest granddaughter. So this will get passed on to Avery when she is 16. She will get it just like I did. I want to keep that tradition and keep it going. So that hope chest is actually filled with a bunch of things from myself, other family members, and my children. And so that's really sentimental and really special. And I love that. So that is actually not going to stay in here. So it'll get moved. But I need to put like a craft table in here. And then this will kind of be super kind of decorative because I want it pretty, but I want it functional for like storage and stuff. And so that's what this wall here will be. And then I'm going to get another piece to go right here, and that's where all the paints will go. So I want to put my paint containers, brushes. I want to do like a little artistry wall. And then I want to just have like a fun little space in here. I want it to just be really fun. And then this is that piece I was telling you about. I built this table out of pallets. I didn't end up staining this, so I didn't do anything special. This is one of the first pieces. It was like a prototype. It has drawers, like it has a functioning drawer. Believe it or not. I have to put the track back in there, but yeah, that was built out of pallets and I built that. So I just kind of stuck it here at the door. This is not going to stay here. I actually got this little doodad to go on my craft table so that I can put things at different levels like plates and bowls. And then I can put other things like a paper towel roll or something. Like this can serve as a multi-purpose. And then I also got this riser as well because then I can stick things under to maximize space and on top. So it's a little bit of a taller riser, but like other things can go in here. And because my workstation has to be smaller than at the other house. So I don't have a lot of space, but this room is, I want to say it's like 13 or 14 by, it's a squarish room. It's a squarish room. I want to say it's like 14 by 14. And it's the same size as the laundry room. Almost. I did equal sizes. So April's room is right there. We have a bathroom. We have this room. And then around the corner, we have the laundry. So yeah, and then I want a piece to go here. And then when that's gone, this is where I was talking about how I really don't know that I want to do an L shape, but an L shape could make sense here if we did like an L-shaped desk here. But I will show you what I did. So I bought these. I bought these from Hobby Lobby when I got them on clearance. I absolutely love these. I've organized all my paint in them. And by the way, these are phenomenal. This is our dog's itch medicine. These are fantastic. They're butter toffee pretzels. These are the toasted pecan. And these are the original. These came from Home Goods. They are amazing. But anyways, this is the paint here. And let me show you the rest that I got. Then I got these other ones that I'm going to combine. I have these. So these will go on the bottom like so. So I want to keep them like this. Then those other ones that you just saw, all three of them will stack on top of here. And then I'm going to get another tall one to go on each side so that I can, obviously I'll have more paint colors to add. So this will create extra. So these also came from Hobby Lobby, and I got these on sale too. And these were $46, and then I got them when they were 50% off. I mean, we can make these. Sure, we could probably craft them, but I'm not going to. Just not. Yeah, so this is where we're going to move to. Right here. This will be it. How's the new toilet working? Awful. April just laughed.
It's working.
I mean, it's working. It's flushing.
I mean, yeah.
But we've already had to record. We've already had to record that she flushed the toilet. She turned on the shower. And then the toilet was gurgling. Then it was starting to come up into the tub. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So again, y'all, we're just having issues. But it will be very convenient. I'm very thankful. But anyways, it'll probably be a couple weeks before it's completely finished. I'm just trying to pace myself, but it's a good start. But thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate you. If you want to grab that craft kit, you totally can. It's called Bird Hotel. It's in the shop. There's a link in the description. If not, that's cool. I'm glad you hung out with us. But it is a kit that we have in the shop. So you don't see it as a craft room, but it's your office at home. You do feel bad for Dixie. I don't. I'm about to show you why. There she is. What are you doing? What are you doing? She didn't even know that I was there. What are you doing? Huh? Are you gonna get all covered up in your blanket? Are you covered up in your blankie? You would get covered up in your blankie? They said they feel bad for you. They don't feel bad for you. You are living your best life. Right. I don't feel bad for her. She is snug on the couch. She is good. But it will be a nice place. It'll really be a nice place. But y'all enjoy your night. Thank you for hanging out tonight. I had a great time chit-chatting and talking, and just, it was a little bit serious conversation, but it was still a good time. But y'all be inspired. She is living her best life. 100%. I'm going to go wash my hands now because y'all should see this other one. Look at my hands. Like, I got to go soak them. I'm going to go get this stuff off. But y'all have a great night. We have Creative Haven tomorrow, and then I'll be back to crafting on Tuesday, and I'll see you guys next time.